Here on Radio Row at Super Bowl 48 in Manhattan, we visit with a guy that we've talked to several years running on Sports Talk during Super Bowl week, David Hunt of Hunt Auctions. You guys come here every year and bring some really, really neat stuff. Talk a little bit about, this whole memorabilia craze and why people love it so much.
It's amazing. This is our 6th year running, doing it with the NFL and NFL Auctions, and it really, the memorabilia and the pricing it brings really is symbolic of the fanaticism of the fans and how popular the game is, especially with the current pieces that come right from NFL Auction. You see the pricing really reflected and very reflective of the teams that are winning and the teams that are in the players that are playing well, like the Peyton Mannings or Russell Wilsons, and you see that pricing escalate as those teams move through the playoffs and then subsequently obviously reach the pinnacle, which is the Super Bowl.
What's the most valuable piece you've ever done on a Hunt auction?
We've had some very, very valuable baseball pieces. That's a little bit more established market.
Mm-hmm.
Some Babe Ruth items are $500,000, $800,000. In the football world, we've had, like last year, we had a Sammy Ball jersey. Great, obviously one of the greatest players in NFL history, and that brought over $105,000. And then a few years before that, we had Tom Brady's jersey right from the NFL. That brought around $56,000.
For the amateur, the person who just is a casual sports fan or a big sports fan but wants to have a piece in their home,
sure,
how do they know it's legit?
That's important. It's one of the main reasons we've been so passionate about partnering with leagues and league-affiliated entities like NFL Auction. So, for instance, the jerseys that they give us, they are right off the field, game-used, authenticated by NFL Auction, and then right to us. So what we want fans to be able and collectors to be able to do is to decide what they like, how much they want to spend on it, and how much fun they're going to have with it, not is it real and should I buy it. That's the part we want to eliminate from the equation, and by going through those sources and guaranteeing everything we sell, even the vintage pieces, it gives a peace of mind to buyers that they can do so.
Don't the leagues have people who do just that? I mean, at the stadiums, how does that work?
They do. I mean, all the pieces from the NFL Auction are, they're literally hologrammed and authenticated on site as part of their program, to make sure that it's not that there would be any malicious mistake, but just to make sure that they are exactly what they are. There's a lot of footballs being used, there's a lot of jerseys being worn, so they want to make sure to nail them down as to what they were used, when they were used, how they were used, because we have signed jerseys as well that are autographed but not game used, and the pricing, for the Peyton Manning signed jersey will probably be $500 to $700, whereas his game worn jersey is going to be $15,000 to $20,000. So a big difference.
All right, let's talk about what you brought here. These first two things, and again for our ktbb.com/Super Bowl audience, these two rings that you brought along, and the camera's here, so just give us an idea and hold them up and what these are.
Yeah, these are exciting. I mean, this is the '97 Broncos ring that was from the first championship. And obviously Super Bowl rings are so iconic in as not just an achievement, but as a collectible as well. So good timing on this one, obviously, because the consignor didn't know that the Broncos were going to make it when he consigned it. But this should be about $20,000 to $30,000 by the time it's all said and done. And then we have one that was a little bit more symbolic of sort of the city that we're in. 1958. At the time called the NFL World Championship game. Right. It was pre-Super Bowl.
The old Yankee Stadium.
Exactly, but this is between the Baltimore Colts and the New York Giants, and this was really a very, very significant sort of benchmark in NFL history. Johnny Unitas led the Colts to victory in overtime, and it is regarded as the greatest game ever played because it really ushered in that television era of football and led to where we are today with the immense popularity of the NFL.
Did that belong to any particular player?
Actually, this came from a family of one of the original owners of the Colts.
Okay.
They decided as a family, it kept a lot of sentimental things to them, but this was one piece they decided, although it's very valuable, it just wasn't a sentimental piece to them, and so they decided to sell it, and with this year, with the game being in New York, it just made a lot of sense to do it.
Couple of other items
I mean, again, coming right from NFL Auction, this is literally the Super Bowl kickoff ball from last year's Super Bowl. So each year, the NFL preserves the opening kickoff ball and the flip coin that they use, and then we sell them in subsequent years' auction. I mean, it's really cool stuff to think about. This is the ball that hundreds of millions of people watched as the opening game kicked off and the flash bulbs
and all the flash bulbs popping. Yeah, okay.
This is it. So, and as we were talking about with the authentication, there's the hologram that documents as far as which ball it is.
What's that ball worth?
This should be about $2,000 to $4,000. Some years we have them bring a bit more. Some years a bit less. It really depends on the teams and the fans that are trying to go after it. Because obviously you don't. If you're the losing team, you don't want it. You don't want to remember it. If you're part of the winning team, it's very special.
One other item maybe we grab.
This is a cool piece just because it's as far as some of the vintage items we have. Sid Luckman, great quarterback and player for the Chicago Bears. This is his actual jersey from 1947. And again, we sort of encourage people, even if they don't want to bid, just to view these things. Listeners in your area, lots of great Cowboys and Houston Oilers things. Earl Campbell. There's some great game use jerseys from Tony Romo and DeMarco Murray, a lot of the current players as well. And lots of things that are in the hundreds, not necessarily thousands of dollars. So we want to make it sort of something there for everybody, not just these super expensive pieces.
If they're not here, when, how, and where does the money go?
Yeah, if you go to huntauctions.com or NFLauction.com, it'll link you to the site. And you can bid online up until Friday, and then it becomes a live auction on Saturday. All the current player pieces right from the NFL auction, those net proceeds go to NFL auction charities. And even on the vintage things, we started a program when we started this with the NFL auction that a portion of those proceeds even go to NFL auction charities. So you get some great pieces that are fully authenticated, have a lot of fun with it, and do some good as well.
David Hunt of Hunt Auctions. Thanks a lot, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.